Thank you for being here. Thank you guys so much for joining tonight on the Mindset Elevator. Happy Friday. Hope you guys are feeling awesome, taking care of yourselves, okay? Enjoying the month of December 2024 and all it has to bring, okay, everybody? So I appreciate you guys, all your guys' good vibes, good energy, positivity, all right? High vibrating tendencies, ways of being, okay? I love it all. And I appreciate you guys. Hey, India, how are you? Happy Friday. Happy Friday, India. Hope you're doing awesome. Thank you. Happy Friday to you. Hey, Marty. Hey, David. Hope you guys are feeling fine tonight. Hey, Paul. How are you? Hope you guys are taking care of yourselves, enjoying the week. These weeks are going by fast. Like these days are going by so quick. The year of 2024 went by very quickly, like very, very quickly. Each year that goes by is going quicker, faster. You know what I mean? Like it's interesting. Hey, everybody. Thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the fantastic vibes. Hey, Calvin. How are you? The blame game is an interesting game. It's a game that normally is unwarranted, and it's a game that can go south very quickly, very badly in the wrong direction. And the blame game, of course, we could come to the assumption that the blame game is played by people or orchestrated by people who do not like to take accountability for what they do or for what they don't do. Like that's something that they really stray away from purposely. They don't want to come to terms with the fault that they had in a situation. They don't want to come to terms with that. They don't want to admit that. They don't want to come out and say that they were wrong, or perhaps they were the antagonizer in a situation. They don't want to come out with all that information. It's simply easier for them to blame you, right? And to put it all on you and say it's you're the reason why they had to do this. You're the reason why that happened to you. And it's a lot of pointing fingers, right? So you're going to have a lot of people around you who do not want to take accountability for what they perpetrate. They're not going to want to take accountability for what they orchestrated or put together. There's some people who go behind the scenes and they do a lot of dirty work. They do a lot of work that is diabolical work, right? Work that is meant to put a dent in other people's plans, right? Kind of like mess the vibe up, mess everything up for people who they're jealous of. A lot of people go behind the scenes and they do a lot of work, right? They do a lot of bad deeds, and then they get themselves in a situation where they're found out, or the heat is coming at them and they don't want to take that heat. So instead of taking that heat, feeling that wrath of what they caused, they'd rather shift the blame to somebody else or shift the blame to an unsuspecting individual who might be really surprised that their name is even being brought up in a situation. So I'm going to get into it a little bit more. Yep. Right. Hope you guys are all feeling fine. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys. Hey, Andrew, hope you're doing awesome. Thank you guys for the positive vibes, positive vibes. I notice also, before I even continue, I do notice a lot of people are miserable these days. That's something that's been an ongoing trend. A lot of people are very miserable these days, and, they only kind of come around to spread negativity and spread hate, but they don't understand that there's no place to entertain hate. There's no place for that. It's distracting, where people just come around to mock or cause problems, right? And don't really have nothing else to offer. So, what I'd like to say too, as we close out the year, is just, you know, mitigate these situations, right? Where people are just coming around to cause issues, or, let these things roll off your shoulders as well. because a lot of people need their egos fed, and a way that they do this is by baiting negative conversations or by baiting negative, saying negative things to get seen or to be seen, right, or to be acknowledged. And it's just, there's no time for that. There's no time to acknowledge. So that's just what I want to say. But more positivity needs to infiltrate the world, in some kind of capacity. Let that be the trend, right? Instead of negativity. Some things will never change as the years go by. Some things will never change. You could pray, but some things, it's not always like that, but you could still wish. Yep. So it's just it's too many miserable. I've been around a lot of miserable people this year, and it's kind of like, it's just so aggravating to be around individuals who don't have no positivity emanating from them. There's nothing, right? It's just like dreariness, and I really want to let it be known, let it out that you don't have to accept that type of negativity in your life. You don't have to accept and welcome bad vibes, or don't entertain that. Don't entertain bad vibes, because some people, that's all they know, that's what they dwell in, so that's all they have to offer. So definitely use your discretion as to what you feed into, or what you consume, or what you really take into your life. Be wary of that. It's so easy to slip into the negativity, right? So sometimes you got to catch yourself right before that actually transpires, or before it gets severe, right? So when you do something, you could probably own up to that. Right back on the premise of this live stream, when you're doing something wrong, or when you did something wrong, or you caused a situation to occur that was negative, you probably stand on business. You're probably able to say, you know what, I did that. And you're not trying to look for Tom, Dick, and Harry to point fingers at. You don't move like that. You stand on business. You know what you do, you know what you don't do, and there's consequences, negative and positive, for what you put forth on the planet, right? So it's like, with a real one like you don't have to be told twice. If you did something wrong, you own up to that and you mitigate that, or you try to make things better. You try to offer some kind of recourse so that the situation improves. That's how you follow through on your accountability. That's how you follow through on the deeds that maybe were unsavory, right? That's how you make things right. And so you're going to be being in some situations where people are trying to point the finger at you, like, they did something, or they had a part in something, but they're looking at you to blame. Or perhaps, usually when something goes bad, something goes awry, people don't want to take that accountability because they don't want to get in trouble. They don't want to catch that flack or catch that heat that comes with their wrong move that they made, right? Or it could be a failed plan that was meant to hurt somebody, right? Or even hurt you. Like, you could have been the target of this pain. Like, you could have been the person that they wanted to hurt in some capacity. And so because it didn't work, or because it backfired in some kind of fashion, now they're looking at you to blame, like, oh, if only you hadn't done that, I wouldn't have had to do that. Or if you had only did what you were supposed to do, or said a certain statement, then this would have never happened. But it's like, what they're claiming you did or did not do has nothing to do with the original issue, or it has very little, like, there's no substance there. A lot of people, when they do wrong, they're going to look at you to blame. Sometimes you'll just be minding your business, like, literally you have nothing to do with the circumstance, but somehow your name still gets brought up in a negative way, like, oh, Jimmy did that, or it's Jimmy's fault, or it's Tommy's fault, or it's Shirley's fault. If she hadn't done that, then we all wouldn't be in this situation. And they try to frame people, for their lack, or a failed plan, or a failed venture, instead of going inward and seeing about, what was it that I possibly did or didn't do that caused this outcome to affect me? Like, what did I do? They look at somebody else to blame, or they look at somebody else to point fingers at, hoping that it will absolve them of the negative feelings they have about, what flopped or what didn't go right. Yep, Devere, happy to see you here. Yep. Yeah, one says operating in evil and it didn't work out in their favor. Now they want to blame you. Yep. I will make a statement that I feel it's interesting how people use their free will. Sometimes when it comes to good versus bad, what people choose to do. It's so easy to choose something bad because you don't always see the full picture. So you choose something thinking that it looks very attractive or it looks very enticing, so it must be good. And then you get bamboozled or then you get tricked. You realize that what you sought or what you were getting into had a negative side about it that had, dire consequences, and now you're in an issue, right? So it's very interesting. But yeah, a lot of people's failed plans, a lot of lack of accountability, a lot of people don't want to do the right thing or to be honest. People will like outright gaslight you and they'll say things like, I didn't do that or I didn't say that. It's you who said that or it's you who did that. Like some people really take it too far, where they kind of invoke mind games and they start playing manipulation games to try to like coerce you or to get you to like believe a different version of events that makes you look bad and makes them seem like, the grieved party, like the party that's getting the pain. They're the ones who started the pain a lot of the times, the ones that, initiated the targeting, in some kind of capacity, right? So accountability is an issue. When people don't want to take accountability, that could actually drag you down in life, especially when these individuals play an important role or are supposed to play an important role in your life in some way. Like this could be your husband, this could be somebody who, they're not pulling their weight, or when something goes wrong, like they never own up to it. They never say what they did or what they didn't do. They try to hide it or they try to cover it up at the workplace too. A lot of cover ups or a lot of things that are swept under the rug and not really probed further, even though it should be. It's just easier to blame you or to blame somebody and say they did that. Blatant lies. I'm talking about blatant, like no shame type of lies being told where people know they're spinning a story. This is a full fabrication or highly exaggerated tale, right? And they try to convince people around them that that's what actually happened and that's the person who did it, instead of taking accountability for the whole thing or whatever major part they played. And you may have played a part, certainly, in a situation that didn't go well, didn't go right. But like I said, a lot of us here are upstanding, honest people who right our wrongs. We're not going to sit down and let somebody else take the fall for our wrongful actions. Like we stand on business, we say, we did that, I did that, that was messed up, I shouldn't have done that, let me make things right. But a lot of us are not around people who are like that, who are that accountable or who are that self-aware, and trying to make things right. Not everybody's like that. Not everybody has your heart or has your spirit. Yeah, super reasonable says frustration is the outcome. Yeah, Josh says this is why the truth will set you free. And you got to always tell the truth no matter if it hurts. Sometimes it's not going to be what people want to hear, but it's better. It's real spit. That's what they say. That's how it needs to be. It has to be real talk, because that's how you make real connections when you're able to connect with people on things that are factual, things that are real, being built on solid, concrete, genuine foundation, right? Instead of things kind of just being unstable because somebody's not being honest. It's really hard to work with untrustworthy individuals or people who lie a lot, people who make things up a lot, people who shift the blame. They never take accountability. So what's stopping them from continuing to drag you down? This can be somebody that you're tied to, or this is somebody who could be in your family in some kind of way, or somebody who you really might have a lot of love for. And you would think by now they would learn the lesson, or by now they would have changed or grown up. But not everybody grows up like that. In stature, yes, right? But in the mind, no. Emotionally, no, right? Like they still stay juvenile. They're not willing to really like open up to the world and get out in the world and start learning about what it means to be real. They avoid that. They avoid that. They don't want to go out there and really know what it is to do things by yourself and build real connections and, do right by people and, build bonds. And then, you live and you learn, you grow, you get more knowledge. People don't want to do all that, right? They don't want to do all that. They don't want to take. So that's the thing. It's kind of like an immature individual who doesn't want to admit that they did something wrong or that what they did caused an issue and it's affecting you or them or whoever. They don't want to come out and say that because there's an immaturity there. There's a part there that's like not grown, right? There's a part there that's kind of like still needs to grow, right? So that, these individuals who are more mature, they stand on business, right? They get up, they say, I did that, right? And I'm going to make it right. I'm going to make everything okay. I'm going to make everything sweet again, So when people do something wrong to you, they'll blame you and say, you're the reason why they had to do that to you. You're the reason why they had to hurt you or they had to talk smack about you or lie or steal from you, you know, especially stealing, theft, or people like try to like withhold things from you and then try to make it seem like, well, you know, it's your fault they had to take it or that was theirs originally. Like they try to really mess your mind up and try to confuse you or distort parts of your reality that you know to be true or that you know of the sequence of events, like what actually took place. People try to start gaslighting, as try to, really cause a disruption in your life by, making things difficult for you, doing things that are, unsavory, doing things that are depleting you or siphoning you in some kind of way. Some folks don't have any shame. No shame. And and once again, that blame game is something that these individuals have trained for. This is something they do all the time. They're here. They see that your image, or your social standing, and a lot of us don't care about that, but I'm going to say that because your presence holds a lot of weight. So I'm going to touch bases on that a little bit. Your presence holds a lot of weight. You probably live real clean. Like the way that you choose to live life, like you don't get yourself in drama or you do not put yourself in compromising situations where you're going to be negatively affected. If you can avert, if you can avert that, you would, right? That's what you would do. And so it's almost like people come with a poisonous intent. Like some people will enter our lives with bad intentions because they know that we don't like to live a life like that. We move a little bit different. We have a different itinerary. We're not trying to move with the drama, you know? And so what starts happening, right, is that when people see that your heart is pure and you have good intentions, it's like they want to put a stain on that or they want to distort that and make it so that your life mimics their life or what happens in their life. Now you've got to deal with it or you have to deal with their world or clean up their mess because of something they did, because they shift the blame to you. Now it's like you can't focus or you can't, be on your way and deal with your own life. Now you got to deal with this person like potentially lying on you or framing you and trying to turn people away from you because like they're accusing you now of wrongful actions or they're accusing you of something that you didn't do or that's just not how it happened, right? It's an exaggeration. It could be like that. Excuse me. And it's so cold over here in Toronto. It's so cold. It's getting colder and colder. I love it though. I love the cold. Let it be known if it's cold where you guys are at. Let it be known where you guys are tuning in from tonight as well. But it's getting colder and, you move with the seasons and you look for the beauty in each and every single one. A lot of opportunities on the way. A lot of opportunities every day. Any day is an opportunity. Every day is a chance to get some really awesome things done. There's no day that goes by that you can't get something done, right? There's no day, Monday through Sunday, you can do it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of awesome things coming your way. And as long as you stay diligent, and as long as you know, you remain true to yourself and what you really want out of this lifetime, you're going to get that. You know, you're going to get that because you're willing to do that work. You know, you're willing to go that extra mile, right? You're willing to go to places where a lot of people wouldn't dare to go because of just how unique it is or how different it is. So always remain true. And thank you so much. Let me scroll up there. Bunny, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. Thank you guys all for the great vibes. Derek says, you are their mirror and they can't stand it. Right. Chosen 77 says, they guilty because they did it themselves. Right. Joseph the Dreamer says, smear campaigns don't work when you don't care anymore. Exactly. When it's not affecting you, when you've distanced yourself from it, right? Then it's like, you know, you're free. You're free. And what they say, that saying that they say, you know, what you don't know can't hurt you. I feel like there is some truth to that. There is some truth to that for sure. See, those are the things that used to bother me. I would let everything bother me, you know, worry a lot, anxious a lot, thinking the worst outcome of a situation. That's how my mind was wired, you know? And so it took a lot of time to really step away from that negative mindset because I didn't always have a positive mindset. That's not the case. You know, I used to have a mindset that was more poor, right? Or more like, what's the term? Pessimistic, even I would go as far as to say, you know, I wasn't always optimistic. Like I knew I would always find a way, but then you know, my mind, I would trick myself a lot out of really positive opportunities. I would trick myself. I would stop myself from going after something out of fear, right? And out of anxiety that it won't work or because I don't have a lot of support. It doesn't seem like a lot of people are on my side, things like that, you know? So eventually you kind of say to yourself, you know, you got to push past the negative barriers. Your mind can play tricks on you. You know, your mind can make you believe things that you don't that you normally that is not really your story or that's not really what you think, right? So yeah, I used to be more of a pessimist. I used to have I wasn't caring or understanding really what my purpose was. It's not something that I was more negative about it, like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I just got to do something to, you know, fill in the gaps of time, but I don't know what I want to do, right? Like I had that more of a mindset, like more confused, right? That's how I was, very confused, like very uncertain, right? But you live and you learn, you try, you break through that, you get clarity, and then you get it moving, you know, like you get it pushing. Now I don't have any confusion about what I'm supposed to do. I just do it, right? And what you love to do sometimes is a steady climb, but you got to make that climb. You have to try to enjoy that odyssey, right? Because when you love to do what you do, there you have an attachment to it and you'll have an innate feeling to nurture that. You won't want it to wither away and die. You're going to want it to flourish and blossom into something greater because you finally found your calling, you know, or you finally found your groove. It's very important to do what you love. Do what you love. Don't do what I did, which was more of doing anything, you know, just doing whatever for the time being. I mean, that's how you learn sometimes too, because I'm always curious and that will never change. But it's like you do have to have a certain level of control and really like use your mind, just like think, you know, like calm down and just think about it. Be honest with yourself. Don't lie to yourself, you know, about what you really want or what you really feel. Don't lie to yourself because it's only going to stall what you want, you know, what you really seek. You know, we could block ourselves for sure. And I really appreciate you guys. I'm happy that you guys are all here. It's always nice. Always a vibe. Always a vibe. I thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I thank you. I'm hoping you guys are liking the stream so far. And to all those who are new, thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm from Toronto. I'm from Canada, born and raised in Toronto. I love my city that I come from. I love multiculturalism. I love people from all walks of life. That's how it's very thrilling, to know a lot of people from different places. That's always something that I always liked. Right. And I really like to push past those barriers or those stereotypes, that they really try to force feed down people's throats, where they try to, like, separate groups of people from knowing about each other or from being taught about one another. I don't like that stuff. I like when things are more, inclusive and open, and everybody, different races, different faces. That's what is really cool. Really, really cool. That's how it should be. You should, I love diversity. Of course, I'm sure it's part of because of where I'm from, right? Totally. Of course, where you're from is going to have somewhat of an impact on how you feel, right? But still, you have that innate feeling, like, what you love, right? Toronto makes some noise, right? Yep. I would do that drill sound, but I'm not going to butcher it. I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm not going to do that. Nope. Yep. India says, I remember not getting what I needed as a child. When I grew up to be a rebel as a teen, I was blamed for that. Yes, sometimes being deprived of necessities or being deprived of just basic concepts like love and affection and just being nurtured in general will sometimes cause us to go astray, and sometimes cause us to go down different paths, and sometimes seek the wrong things. And then when people around us who know us feel like we're doing things that are wrong or reckless, they try to, like, say, it's your fault. But it's like, a lot of it is the way that you are brought up. A lot of it, a lot of the trauma or a lot of the pain, it's about how you were brought up. A lot of it has to do with it, in my opinion. How you're raised, how you're spoken to as a child, or the opportunities. It's not fully 100%. You can come from any background and be anybody you want to be. I truly believe that you can come from any background, you can be a part of any class. I don't really care about that stuff. I believe truly you can come from any place. It might seem like an impossible, it could be like the Marianas Trenches, the lowest part, things that people would overlook. And you could be anybody you want to be. You can be at the top, you know, but you have to have that mindset. You have to have the heart, though, right? So, yeah. But being blamed for what other people do is always unpleasant. It will never be fun, because now it's like people are looking at us funny, like we did something wrong, or we are not who we say we are, but we stand on business. There could have been instances where you had to tell people what really happened in a situation, and then they might say something to you like, oh, that makes more sense, like they didn't say all that, or that makes sense because what they were saying wasn't adding up, right? The truth always comes out. These individuals, they will point fingers, but the truth will always come out about what really transpired in a certain situation, right? That's what these individuals don't understand or care to think about, is that the truth is going to come out. Sometimes they dig themselves into a hole and they're not realizing that, that they're doing that. When they try to, like, shift the blame and try to throw you under the bus or let you take the rap for what they did, and make it seem like you were an active participant all along, or you're a bad person, right? And they'll make it seem like you have bad intentions, when it could have been them the whole time that had ill will towards either you or other people in society, right? You're going to be blamed for things you did not do. You're going to be blamed for things you quite literally weren't there. You weren't around. You weren't involved. Why is your name even being brought up in any capacity, right? I've been here, I've been in situations where I'm hearing, oh, I heard you did this. Like, oh, wow, funny, because I never traveled there, or I don't know that. I don't know about that. So how could I have done that? It's like outlandish statements that are meant to like put me in a position I would never be in, right? Or I would not be in by my own volition. It would be something that was like an external factor. Like these individuals will go really hard to like put you in a box that you do not belong in. And it's like a box of nonsense. A box that has all these little trinket things and all these random things, and you could never find the one thing you want. Like just a random, they try to put you in a mess, right? Trying to blame you for things that you didn't do, or try to blame you for things that are exaggerated, like it wasn't even like that. Like for example, you may have had to kick somebody out of your house or kick somebody to the curb, but you didn't do it in a malicious way. They've been staying there way too long, right? They pay no rent, they offer nothing, they sleep all day, they don't buy no food, they don't pay towards the light bill, nothing like that. They're just freeloading off. This is a very extreme example, right? So you could have kicked them out and say, you know what, you gotta leave because you can't stay here anymore. I need to reclaim my home again, right? And instead of being grateful for how long you've accommodated them, they go out there and start telling people, oh, it's your fault that they're homeless, or it's your fault they're unhoused, and you're so mean, and you're always, you kick them out when they had nothing, but you help them. Like they're trying to like blame you for what they originally already had wrong, or they could be blaming you for something that you were not the cause of. Like you're not the reason why they're unhoused. You're not the reason why they have no place to live. So when you let them in and then you got to kick them out, now they're blaming you for why you're homeless, but that was their original issue that had nothing to do with you, that they came to you to remedy. It's kind of interesting how people will turn things around on you sometimes, right? Where you could have had the best intentions and it could have been going well. But a lot of people will take advantage of good people. And when they do that and they get an unsavory response or reaction to the situation, they come back and they turn it around and they make it seem like you inconvenienced them, or you were the malicious, mean type that tried to like sabotage them and hurt them. But they don't tell the people that they were sleeping on your couch rent free for 3 months and not trying in life and eating up all their food, not paying nothing towards groceries. Like they don't say the whole story. They don't say what would have caused Sally to kick you out, or what was it? Or maybe she just wants her home back, right? Like you should be grateful. You should be naturally gracious about that, how she helped you, right? But no, they try to put it on you like, oh, now, you're the one now. Forget everything else. You're the one now who caused their homelessness, or you caused their downfall in some kind of way, or you're blocking them from being able to like go out there and make something of themselves, right? Sometimes people will only ever have your name in their mouth for no good reason. There's no cause, there's no reason. There's no reasonable explanation for why they're talking about you or for why they're putting the blame on you. Right? Like, oh, I heard you did this. Oh, you did that. It's like, from all avenues, sometimes people will be making accusations about you or making false statements against you, trying to like turn people against you or try to get you to get blocked, from your own blessings. Some people go crazy. Some people go too far. Yeah, Queen Nita says, never tell the whole story. I hear that. And of course, everybody, I hope you guys all have a wonderful holiday season, of course, Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season. I'm having a holiday party tomorrow, so that should be very interesting. And, just want to live life and enjoy and, take care and, live life to the fullest. You got to enjoy life. You have to. You have to try. You got to try at least. Life is beautiful. Life is sweet if you make it that way. If you don't believe it's not, if you believe life is not sweet, it's not going to be sweet. Because why try? So you got to love life. You have to have an appreciation, a general appreciation for life and all that it has to offer to you. But definitely understand that people want to put a stain on your image. There's going to be people who want to put a stain, to put a damper on the high vibrating individual that you are, hoping that perhaps they'll be able to turn a community against you and try to pin things on you that you did not do. And then you might be in a situation where you're forced to defend yourself in some kind of capacity because of these outlandish allegations or these statements that are untrue against you, or people blaming you for why they did something or for why they didn't do something. They are trying to escape and run from taking accountability because they don't want to take that flack. They don't want to take that heat, or they think that you're an easy punching bag, somebody who's just going to take the rap for it. So, it can be very crazy. You're just trying to stay focused. It's always when you're trying to go up, a lot of these distracting situations present themselves, right? Now we got to deal with Sally this, and she said that, and he's saying this, and what am I hearing now from Tony? Things like that, right? Some company, they really will bring you down, all the way down. Like they don't have nothing proper to offer. They don't have nothing to offer but misery, but problems, drama. It puts a chill down your spine. It feels uncomfortable to be around people who only carry darkness, right? Or who only have negativity to share. And then what? It can compromise you totally. So that's why you gotta put a stoppage to it, or, you know, mitigate the situation to the best of your ability so that you're not being compromised in any fashion, because that's the aim, that's the goal, to make you compromise, to make you feel unfocused and uncertain and uncomfortable. Some individuals will literally just operate out of trying to cause discomfort for you, just trying to straight up make you unnerved, or try to make you feel just shaky about the situation or about whatever it is that's transpiring, right? Putting the blame on you is not going to work though, because inevitably the truth is going to come out. All the ones who were the people who were the truth tellers are going to be vindicated. It's going to be seen that the truth tellers had their story straight all along, and that the storytellers, people who are spreading false information, or putting forth false allegations, putting the blame on you for things that it's going to come out they did that. It's going to come out that they started that, or they caused that. It's going to come out the way that it actually happened, right? Instead of this cover up story or this alibi that people really try to pump out when the heat gets too much and they can't take it. That's what they're going to aim for, to put that heat onto you so that you get tarnished, or it's what they're trying to avoid. They don't want to be tarnished, they don't want to be siphoned, they don't want their blessings to go away. So they have to be, they're in a state of self-preservation at this point. They want to preserve what they feel is at risk of being taken from them, right? Or the negative backlash that they might, well, backlash is normally negative. It's kind of like an oxymoron, but the backlash that they might get because of what they've done, they want to avoid that. So it's like they put it on you because they know that if they put it on you, they get to be free. Like they won't have that feeling of being caught, and then people will look at you crazy, or look at you like you're a bad person. But the truth always comes out. This is a fruitless venture, trying to pin things on people. The truth comes out. Real ones are going to ask real questions like, that doesn't make any sense. Can you run that by me again? Or that's not adding up. Or, but what happened in between? There's something not adding up. People who don't care and they love the drama, they're not going to ask any questions. They're going to eat that right up just like it's breakfast and run with that story because they like the drama. They won't probe further. They're not trying to do all that because they want to believe the gossip. They want to believe, because it's entertainment. It's entertainment. It's entertaining. If it comes to an end and it has a real legitimate closure to the story, it's kind of like, well, the show's done. So what? I want to believe the lies because it's like a soap opera. Like it keeps getting deeper and deeper. They want to believe, go down the rabbit hole and believe things that are not true, right? And believe the perpetrator's story because the perpetrator's probably very charming, right? And probably very convincing to a certain degree. They're able to really get people into it, right? To bite the bait. But real ones are going to ask real questions and they're going to say that doesn't make sense. Or, there's something about your story that's not lining up. It seems far fetched or unrealistic what you're trying to suggest about this person. Or I don't see that in them. So what? Like, can you run that by me again? Explain that. Like, how did that happen? What did you say? Real ones will ask real questions. It's not going to be, people who follow the herd, they just say, yes, ma'am, no, sir. Like, they don't think for themselves. It's too robotic. You have to have your own mind. You have to use your own mind to come to rational, reasonable, individual conclusions. You have to have your own mindset, your own mind, your own train of thinking, and not always be influenced by others around you. Like, yes, it's not bad to get, to be influenced to a certain degree or to be inspired, but you have to have your own way. You got to have your own mind. You can't have someone else thinking for you to be your exoskeleton. You got to have your own mind. You have to have your own flair, right? You got to put your own your little spin on it, right? And really like love what you do and have your own mind to draw a rational conclusion. When something doesn't sound right, it's nothing wrong to ask questions about it or to really like probe deeper as to whether or not this story is legitimate or did this really happen like that. There's been situations where I had to ask questions about things that weren't clear. Then the person doesn't want to talk to me anymore or doesn't want to answer anything, because they were just caught, right? Or they were just found to be in a lie or they realize that they've been found out, right? So it's very good to ask questions. For sure. Yep. Pure Honey says 2025 accept people how they are and move on. Move on, right? Sometimes it's hard to move on, Pure Honey, when it keeps happening. It's like a revolving door. It keeps happening, right? Sometimes it's hard to just because it could be a new person or a new situation with a new spin on it, right? People get real crafty with the drama, they get real crafty with the negativity. They start pumping it out in different ways using different methods that can go over our heads. And before we know it, it's a whole other issue, but it lines up with the same mentality of that person. Like it's just all negativity. They don't have nothing else to offer, right? It could be like that. These people have nothing else to offer but negativity, accountability. You cannot trust them, right? There's no trust. There's nothing to admire here about people who run from what they've done, right? And then try to drag you into it. Like if they want to run from what they've done, run alone, Forrest. You know what I mean? If they want to run, they could run as fast as they want to run, but don't drag me into it. I'm going to let myself loose because I don't need that. I don't want that negativity, but people will try to drag you in their mess. Or they won't even say the whole story because they need you to believe a little bit. And then when you get into the situation, you're going to see, wow, like they just trapped you. And now they need you to sign. They need you to like sign on the dotted line now or some weird stuff, where they're trying to like get you to like fix it real quick or clean up my mess real quick. I need your help really fast, right? And they don't want to tell the story. They're not honest. Don't drag me down to those dark depths, you know, because it's murky down there and you can't discern what's going on. And that's a problem. I need to be able to see and discern what exactly I'm getting into before I buy into it. That's how I kind of operate. I don't want to just jump. I want to be able to see everything that I have to see and make a concise decision. That's how I like to operate. I don't want to operate because, oh, you tell me jump. You know, it's like, jump for what? Why? I have a lot of questions about that. You have to have your own mind and everything that pertains to your elevation as it pertains to your existence on the planet. You have to have your own mind. You cannot allow people to make choices for you every step of the way. Once again, it's okay to get guidance, to get insight, to get a second opinion. But remember, it all comes back to, after considering everything, what you want to do, because it's your life that is going to be affected by the choices you make. So it's up to you, right, to make the best choices that you can. Don't fall for the trap of what people set for you. You're so much more wiser because you already been through things. So you know what a trap looks like. Even if it's like verbal or a mental game that people play, you know when it's a trap. You know when it's meant to keep you in a box or put you in a compromising lack position. You know, a lot of times people can't take that heat, so they got to have somebody else to sweat with, or they got to have somebody else to suffer with. They got to have a bunch. They don't want to suffer by themselves. They want to suffer with a crowd. So at least, everybody's suffering a little bit. But what if that's not what you want? What if you want to be free, make your own choice? You get to decide, but you got to have your own mind to decide. You got to have your own mind, your own flair, right? You have to have your own, everything in life is going to be added, you're with your own rendition. You got to do things your way. Do it the way you want it to be. you know be the whatever flows from your mind, creativity, awesome ideas, plans. Work on that, push that out. That's the most potent work you'll ever produce. The work that you love, the things you love to do. That's when you're going to feel most invigorated, right? Sometimes people, when they don't take accountability, actually, when they don't take accountability for what they do, man, you can only imagine the rap sheet that they've collected. They have a lot of things they have to clean out. They have a lot of things to clean up. And it's because they've always dodged taking accountability for what they've done or for what they haven't done. Non-action is a thing too, where you don't take action when you should, right? But the thing about you, when it's time to take action, you go. And when it's time to say nothing, you won't say anything. Like when to act, when not to, how much effort to put in, how, you know what I mean? Because you're being guided, because you have that discernment. You know how to move, right? And I think individuals probably can be very jealous of you at this time because you know how to wade the waters. You're not to be tricked. You're your own person. You have your own individual way of being. So you can't be tricked. You can't be conned or scammed. You kind of rise above it. You're showing people like it's not, you can't be touched. You see the people they victimize. It's really sad to see. But you're not going to be another one. You're not going to be a number. You have your own identity. You've decided where you want to go. And because you've decided where you want to go, they either come along as a supporter or just don't come, right? And because you live this pure way or by these real principles, people are going to try to like taint that or cause havoc in your life because they're jealous that you live life in a more peaceful fashion, or you don't welcome these kinds of situations to really manifest in your world. You'd be surprised what people are really jealous of. It's not money, it's not materials. It's the simple life you live, the lovely life, the happy life, the peaceful life that you have. That's what it is. You probably have a lot of people eyeing you right now, and they see the life that you live, and they've grown to be envious. So when it's convenient for them, they'll bring your name up and they'll say you did things you didn't do to try to like tarnish your name or to kind of like slow you down because you have to like defend yourself. You got to have, you have to like divert a bit and defend yourself and tackle this battle before you get back on your merry way to what you were originally doing or pursuing. Some people are sick. They're not okay. They're not okay. They don't care about what happens to you because of what happened to them, or the lack and dissatisfaction they feel. They can't take that. They don't want to take accountability for that dissatisfaction that has pretty much encased them now. They don't want to deal with it. So they rather make you the person to bear that weight. And that's not fair. That's not proper. That's not how it should be. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, on Raw says people will be mad because you won't accept that type of behavior. It's like they want you to accept their wrongful ways. They want you to accept that they're bad-minded, they're going to snake you, they're going to steal from you, they're going to lie on you, and you better take it. That's how they want it to be. Where you're just going to be like a puppet in their game, and no matter if you like it or not, you're just going to have to suck it up. A lot of people, I've encountered people like this, and it's kind of like, no, I have my own identity. I don't move that way, and I'm not about to, right? Like, I see what you're trying to do, but it's not going to work on me because I already have my own way. My path is clear. Sorry, sorry for whoever you're going to trap next, but I'm not going to be someone trapped in your game. They want you to like accept that they're kind of like wayward and they're going to be making your life a living nightmare. And you're going to keep going through that toxic cycle. And no matter what you try to do, it's always going to be like that, right? Narcissists, people who they require that control. They require that kind of programming of the brain. They require that your brain is wired that way because then you're malleable, right? Taking accountability for keep your hands clean and always speak the truth. The truth will set you free. You never know when the truth that you hold is going to move everybody. And when I say move everybody, I mean more figuratively. You never know when the truth you have to share is going to change everything about your worldly landscape. You just never know. You never know. So always tell the truth because the truth will set you free. Free of all harm. You're free to be your own person, to make the story straight, about what really happened and how it really happened and in what proportions and to who and when, right? The truth tellers always have the dates right. They always have the facts right. And I like to watch Judge Judy. I like Judge Judy. I like to watch Judge Judy. And one thing that Judge Judy always says is when you have a good, what does she say now? When you're telling the truth, right? When you're telling the truth, you don't have to have a good memory. You know what I mean? That's what she always liked to say. And I really believe that, you know? People might accuse you of things and it's going to actually require your response. You're going to have to respond to it in some kind of capacity. Sometimes most of the time we could stay away and be like, you know what, I'm not messing with that. But honestly, there's going to be some situations that are less common that you're actually going to have to like defend yourself outwardly. And the truth is going to set you free. The truth never changes. The story will not change because it just rolls off your tongue. You don't have to rehearse it. It makes more sense. It fills in gaps that the liars made. You know what I mean? It's like a shoddy job of construction. It's like, who did that? Somebody who did a right job and who's qualified and who's legitimate from somebody who is a fraud. Somebody who is unqualified, unskilled, somebody who has a lot of work to do, right? You know the difference. All you got to do is see two different ways, two different, you could tell what makes sense and what is legitimate and what is not making sense and what is most likely fraudulent, discernment. So The frauds will be exposed for deciding to be that way, for deciding to confuse people, for deciding to cause, a distraction, a disruption or a disturbance. Always make sure that when you're being blamed for something you did not do, that you always continue to stick by the story. And the story is the truth. That's it. That will set you free. Whenever it's like it comes clutch. That's what it is. It comes clutch. The truth always comes clutch. It always will help you. It will always make sense. And even if people don't want to believe it or not, it makes sense because that's how it happened. And whoever wants to believe, well, you know what demographic they belong to. It's either they're free and they're doing their own thing, or they're a part of the herd. Like, you'll know which demographic they belong to, because the real ones will always ask real questions, and they'll find out real quick what the real truth is. And there's no hiding the truth. You can't hide from the sun. You can't hide from light and shine and things that gleam and glisten. It's in your face and it's there and it's not going anywhere. And that's the state of it. It's always going to shine. It's always going to bring light. It's always going to bring clarity. So be that clarity. Make sure that your life is enveloped in clarity as much as possible. Yes, sometimes darkness threatens like a storm. A storm, a storm's brewing, a storm's coming, and you kind of brace yourself. You still got to shine. You still have to like see the beauty in it, and don't let it affect you in that way, right? Because at the end of the day, when that storm passes, then everything is beautiful and lovely again. And there's lessons to be learned within that storm, right? So I appreciate you guys and I thank you guys. I'm going to close out the stream, and I want to say thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream tonight. I really appreciate you guys. I wish I could read all of you guys' comments, but I'm telling you, that would be a 3-hour stream. I was doing 3-hour streams back in 2022, right? Like, I was doing a lot of long streams. So, maybe I'll treat you guys with one of those longer streams, just talking, right? Maybe soon I'll do that again. But I thank you guys for the time you guys spent here tonight, on this Friday night. And I thank you guys all so much for the generous donations here, all the likes, all the watches, and the commentary. You guys are so dope. You guys bring so much good energy. It's energy I've not even gotten from my own people, and I'm keeping it real. It's energy I don't have not always experienced in my own upbringing or my own life. You can only imagine, how invigorating it really is to me. I really enjoy being here and connecting with all of you from all over the world, and just know I love all of you guys, no matter where you guys from, what your story is, where you come from, what you've been through. We've been through a lot of things, but where are we right now? We're still here. We're still shining. We're still here. What did they think? Where we were going to go? We can only go up from here. That's it. That's what the mindset elevator is all about. Going up. You know what I mean? Highlighting, bringing things to light, bringing things to be examined, bringing things to the light so you can keep going higher, so you can keep leveling up, especially mentally, keep your mental health in check. Nobody's too higher than anybody. Always keep your mind well. Just like when you have a cold, you're sneezing, you're coughing, you have the shakes, or you're feeling fluish. You keep your mind right. Take care of your mind, do what you got to do to keep your mind in a good state as well. Because if you don't take care of your mind, well, you're not going to take care of yourself in general. Your mind is everything. It's the driving force of everything, right? And keep that faith. Believe, and enjoy the rest of December 2024. Okay, everybody? Hey, Cam, hope you're doing awesome. Thank you guys so much. India, Lou, Naldo, Ethereal Seer, Josh, Jana, Awakened Soul, Brandon, Ahmed, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. TJ, have a good night as well. Thank you guys so much. Marvin, Larry Potter, Larry Potter. I like that. Harry Potter, Larry Potter. That's awesome. Mike, Marvin, Alejandro. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys. Ezra. I love you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Okay. Enjoy the night and live life to the fullest. I'll see you guys another time soon. All right. We'll stay connected during the weekend and I'll see you guys. All right. So take care. Bye.